Hello, everybody.
Boy.
Welcome back after the grueling holiday season. Grueling, fun, whatever it may have been. And welcome back to One Stop Guild Shop and our sit down to play the greatest game in the world, Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to play it. So real quick before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, the Happy Hour Podcast with Johnny and Deuce. We love these guys. Go out and visit them. You can visit them on Facebook. Well, let's see. At Podcast Show, hhpodcastshow@gmail.com, facebook.com/Happy Hour Podcast Show, soundcloud.com/Happy Hour Podcast Show, Happy Hour Podcast, and basically wherever you can download wherever you download your podcasts, they're probably on there. So I know they're on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all those other fun places. So be on the lookout. They're hysterical. Really good friends of the show, so go check them out. Other than that, anyone have anything they want to announce, plug themselves? Anyone got a gig coming up? No. Okay.
Not yet.
So, in that case, we will go ahead here. Let me actually give some nice mood music. Let's get some. Let's see what we got here. We are back at the. I was totally prepared for this tonight, I promise. Okay, so. Because we do love little music.
Yes.
If VLC video player will load, or VLC will load and give us said music. There we go. Since we're back at the detective agency where we haven't spent very much time, so. Oh, my mic is really loud. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty, so last time on the Madness of Iastebiria, we found ourselves back to the detective agency, and now under the ownership, once again under the ownership of Joanne Constance, and she had put out an advertisement for some new recruits, as they don't really have much of a staff anymore. Nova is off on some family business, so she is not in the office currently. But along comes three interesting characters responding to this advertisement. And working through some trials, Joanne summoned for each of them a monster to contend with for their initiation into the detective agency. And one of them had a little bit of trouble, but like you had him down to 3 hit points. You almost had him. You were like almost there. But he still got into the detective agency, so. But they all retired to their rooms for the night, since a lot of them got the shit beat out of them. And they wake up the next morning with the smell of coffee filling the air. And you are all in your bedrooms.
I wake up. Coffee. As I hear him, I've probably been awake for a while now, so I've just been looking around and yeah, she started it like an hour ago. Oh, well, what are we waiting for? Why didn't you wake me up sooner, sister? Thought you needed the rest. Hey now, I'll get some coffee. I'll join you. So, I leave.
How about you? You're in your room by yourself.
I already got my coffee.
you got it all set up in your
Hell yeah.
pocket dimension inside of your shell.
Espresso and everything up in that bitch. Chillaxing, watching the morning news.
So you guys come downstairs. Those of you who have decided to come downstairs, you see Joanne. She's sitting on the couch in the waiting area. It looks like she's made some fresh coffee, put out a spread of pastries and donuts and stuff like that. Oh, good morning, gents.
Oh, good morning.
How did we all sleep?
Very well.
It's very relaxing.
Excellent. Well, have you come downstairs yet, or are you still upstairs?
Still upstairs.
You're still upstairs. Well, I guess we'll wait for our total friend to come downstairs, so...
Where is he, that slacker?
It's probably still within his shell, if I were to make a guess.
Having his turtle time.
Not much for words, that one, but...
We'll get him out of that shell soon.
There we go.
That's a good one.
I see what you did there.
I started making my way downstairs.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, well, good morning. Oh, mysterious person who has not told us your name yet. But we will need it for your entry paperwork, though. Because we like to keep things on the level here. But I know that I said to you all that we would have kind of a group battle this morning, but I did receive a communique from the university, and we have a lead on an entity that we've been tracking for a while that goes by the name of Cthulhu. Are any of you familiar with the Miskatonic University? That's all right. We keep kind of to ourselves. We're an organization. We were started to in hopes to investigate all the strange occurrences of the monsters that have been plaguing this land for some time now. And we are a small but mighty bunch. We're spread out throughout Iastebiria, but we do have our main headquarters is in Ivory Lodge across the sea. But that's where we are. We have a home base, so all of us who are in the field, we kind of work out of our homes and our businesses, and I figured this detective agency would be a grand front for the university, to be able to do stuff for the university, but also accept any clients that may come in. But this entity Cthulhu, we don't know much about him. We know he's an elder god. We've been tracking him for a while, and he actually came into play in our last little adventure with the others that used to work here. And we still don't know if he means if he's good or if he's bad. He really hasn't swayed us one way or the other, which kind of worries us. So we've been hoping to gather a little bit more information about him. And let's see. I received a message this morning from Dr. Henry Armitage. He's our chief librarian over in Iastebiria, and he said that there was potentially a temple within the deserts of Upastan that we may be able to get to and might be able to find out a little bit more about this entity. Why it's in the middle of the desert, I'll never know, because the legend goes he's dead and sleeping at the bottom of the sea somewhere. So maybe this will enlighten our way to be able to find more about him, or maybe even find where he's buried in the city of Relay that's of some sort of renown with him. Like I said, we haven't been around for too long. We know a lot, but not enough. So I think we should journey in lieu of that little battle we were going to do with the little beastie downstairs. I think we should use this as an opportunity, a team building exercise, as it were. What do you all say?
I'm I'm good for it.
Sounds good to me.
Looks good to me.
Alrighty. So, if there's any business you have to take care of in town, feel free. I believe the train leaves this evening. It will take about 3 days by train to get there. So make sure you're stocked up on supplies. We are going to the desert, so if you have a magical means of making food and water, or or gather rations as needed. So the day is yours. Come on back whenever you have your whatever you need.
Okay.
And she stands up, grabs a bear claw, and goes into her office. Doesn't close the door. Just kind of, you hear papers ruffling.
So, I never gave myself any currency for my character.
I remember, I didn't actually tell you guys. Each of you go ahead and take... So you're at level 7. You guys are level 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Since you're level 7, go ahead and take 500 gold each. So I figure you guys...
At 522.
Mm-hmm. So I know you sold some stuff last time.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have been adventuring for a little while, so you would have something to your name.
All right. Well, I think it might be a good idea to go get some rations. If it's a desert we're going to.
Good. I do have means of making food. It's not delicious, but it'll keep us.
I'm more worried about H2O.
I can also do that. But we can pick some up just in case.
Not a bad idea.
Ah, clerics.
Well, then I'd like to go ahead and find the local mart where I can buy some basic supplies.
Alrighty.
Who's coming with me?
I'll tag along just to see if there's anything I would like to.
You're coming, TB?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's walk.
Alrighty.
At least I do.
There's all my...
Finish off in my shell and roll.
Behind you is a turtle shell that's just kind of rolling down the street behind you.
I didn't think he wouldn't draw so much attention to himself. That's the guy he is.
Never somebody who doesn't like to speak. Quite the introvert.
Let's see. So...
I just pull a bicycle out. Like one of those teeny tiny ones. Fucking little clowns on a bicycle. That would be awesome. What the fuck?
Alrighty. So, you guys look around for a little while. Where's the name of the shop? Ah, damn it.
Is there different music for town music?
Oh, I do. I think.
Detective agency.
Yeah.
Some overworld.
I'm 100% on top of things today.
I'm good.
Let's see.
What you need to.
Shit, that detective agency must have speakers outside. I can still hear it.
Well, you guys are part of the detective agency.
This is just our music where we walk around town.
Here's my town music.
Someone in our party starts going nuts. Somebody shut that fucking music off.
Alrighty. Okay, so you look around for a little while, for about a half an hour, and you come across a little general store called Kunda's General Store.
Honda. Let's check this place out.
Okay.
Walk in.
Okay, so it's kind of a little, it's an older building within the city, wooden, very pretty small building, with the little sign kind of hanging slightly ajar out front. You open the door, and there's a couple other customers inside, and the shopkeeper, she's a very thin dwarf, and she looks like she's helping someone with something behind the counter.
She's busy, so I'm just gonna look around, I guess, until she's not busy.
Okay. So a few minutes goes by, and the patron she's helping leaves, and she's like, "Oh, welcome. What can I do for you?"
Well, hello. We are gonna go on a journey.
Oh, where are you going to journey?
Not quite sure, but it involves a desert.
Oh, desert. Okay, let's see. And I take it you're here to stock up on supplies, right?
We need some desert supplies.
All righty, let's see. I have rations, I have canteens, I have bedrolls, I have tents. What all do you need?
Almost all of that.
All right, how many of each?
Okay, see some. So what do rations cost?
Let's see. I'm really on top of it, you guys.
Good.
I have a whole table for this and everything.
Some H2O.
Water and canteen.
Alrighty, rations. She's pouring through her stuff just like I am. Where are rations?
You can see it now. She's stuck behind the counter just throwing shit.
That's exactly what she's doing. She's like, no, not that. Not that.
Where did I put that shit?
According to this, they're half a gold piece.
I just found it too. So she says, okay, how many of you are going on this expedition?
Well, I guess technically 4 if we're counting Joanne, right?
Is she fucking?
I thought she was.
I don't know. But yes.
I'll just say 4.
All right, let's see. And she brings up like since she's a dwarf, she's like got a big armful of just packets of rations. And okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, I have 20 rations here. If you'd like them all, it'll be 10 gold.
I'll take them all.
Okay. Let's see. You said you also need tents, correct? I have a couple of 2-person tents. They're 2 gold pieces apiece.
I'll take the 10. We'll take 3, 4. Okay, we'll just do 4.
4. Okay. So That will be 8 gold pieces for those. Let's see.
All the rations.
Let's see. And let's see. Do you have rope? Do you need rope?
I guess it wouldn't hurt.
Let's see. I have regular hemp rope or I have silk rope.
Silky slippery. Better do
Hemp. Okay. Let's see. I have 3 bolts of 50 feet each of hemp rope. Each one of these is going to be 1 gold piece. So 3 for the lot.
Well, take.
Okay. Here's your rope. And let's see.
It was 20 rations, right?
Yes. Let's see. And she finally comes up and puts 4 water skins on the table. She's like, well, I'm down to 4 water skins. They're 2 silver apiece.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
We'll take also 4.
Okay. She slides over the water skins. Let's see, is there anything else you may want or need?
Let's see. There's no like weaponry in here at all, like bows and arrows.
It looks like she has a few very simple weapons.
Okay.
Not anything of quality that you'd get at like a
Okay.
weaponsmith.
Okay. That'll be nice stuff.
I think that'll do.
All right.
Well, before we go, do you have any spices?
Spices. What?
As in for like food, like paprika, lemon pepper.
Well,
You know, things.
let me see. And she once again disappears behind the. She's like, you hear. She comes up.
5 rations too.
She comes up with.
Rations to your inventory.
She comes up and she pushes forward like 3 vials of what look like ground up spices. It's like, well, I have some thyme and some paprika, and I believe this other one is sage.
Well, that will do. I'll take all 3.
All right, for all 3, that'll just be 6 silver.
I'll just leave it for 1 gold.
Oh, why, thank you, sir. She kind of bites on it, puts it in her pocket.
Awesome. Well, thank you. If there's nothing else,
That'll do for
been
me.
a pleasure.
All right, feel free to come back and visit me anytime.
We will. Thank you.
And she kind of waves and goes to help another customer that had just walked in.
I begin to walk out.
All right, fellers. I must stop elsewhere.
Well, where are you heading to?
I need to get some more bolts and
So who
arrows.
in the shit paid for all that?
I will figure it out. I paid for the rations.
Paid for the tents,
Okay.
What
So
else
we
was
pay for
left?
the canteens.
canteen. Did I pay for that? I think I paid for those 2. Right?
Yeah, I think
It
so.
was just
The
like 2
water
silver
and
and
everything.
And then I need to, I guess, pay for the rope, which was, the rope was what, 2 gold pieces per thing?
Yeah, so the total is
2
6.
or 6. Once you pay for the rope, so minus 6 off your
Currency.
And I'll keep the tents. I have a bag of holding. I'll keep them all in
Okay.
my bag. Make it a little bit lighter for us.
There you go.
Just in case.
Alrighty, where to next?
I'd like to find a shop that I can buy arrows from.
Alrighty. So you walk around town a little bit more, and you come across a single-story wood and brick building. It's got a black tile roof and a smooth stone exterior, or a smooth. It's like kind of. It's painted white outside, but it was painted white a long time ago, so it's like starting to fade. The sign out front says the Griffin's Blades.
I'm going here.
Okay. So you go in, and you see an old human behind the counter, and he's just kind of got his feet up on the counter like, "Oi, what can I do for you?"
Boy, I need to buy some arrows.
Arrows, alrighty. Any sort of special arrows or just arrows?
What you got?
Let's see. Let me see. And he kind of slowly gets up. You can hear his old bones creaking. He's like, "Sorry, I'm a little slow today."
Okay. That sounded like it felt good.
Oh, you have no idea. Alrighty, and he goes over to the wall and he starts looking through stuff. As Matt starts to look through stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And,
What category would they be even under? Is it weapon, I guess?
It should be under ranged weapon, if I can talk. And he says, "Well, I have just standard arrows. For 20, it's going to be 1 gold for 20. Let's see. Do I have any special arrows still?" Trying to figure out if I had thought that far ahead for special arrows.
Or regular arrows just be unbreakable arrow?
No, that will be a special one.
That's a special.
Yeah. Let's see. And he just kind of looks through stuff. It's like, "Well, sorry, I don't have any special ones, but you could probably find an apothecary around, and if you wanted them to be poison, you could buy some vials of poison or something like that to dip those in if you so fancied."
How much were your arrows?
For a grouping of 20, it'll be 1 gold piece.
Okay. I would take. Oh yeah.
Arrows.
Okay. I would take. I'll take 5 bundles.
Oh, all right. And he kind of goes over and like he's walking very slow, so he's like carrying like 1 bundle at a time, and then going back and. So it takes him a few minutes to grab all of your arrows. And finally puts the last one down. Oh. Anything else? Anyone else need any new weapons or anything like that?
I think I wanted
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
it was that one.
Well, if that does it for you, I will bid you all a good day.
Question for you.
Yes.
How would I go about putting my holy symbol on my shield?
I mean, if you're not looking for any sort of magical upgrade, you can like, you can just say that you came with your holy symbol emblazoned on your shield, yeah.
Okay. Cool. I forgot I had one.
Yeah.
I'm looking through and I clicked on it. It's like, yeah, you could have it on your shield. I'm like, well, shit. Alright, that works.
Okay.
Okay. I'm very curious about an apothecary. Interested? Anybody else?
I think I'm good and ready for the adventure, but I will follow you around until you're ready to go.
Okay, one more stop and then we can go. I want to find this apothecary if there is one.
Alrighty.
I love how the blacksmith changed between last night and this morning, too.
No, you went to a different shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's pretty dead on. They don't just work 24/7.
It's just one guy.
The last shop had a lady. Like, alright, cool.
Alrighty, so you go about town and you look around for a little while and you find a place called Tatsuya's Potions. It's a 2-story building, a finely wrought iron with a reinforced wooden door, and the entryway and like the yard in front of it, you can see a lot of scorch marks and craters around.
Hello.
Okay, so you go up and you walk in and you see a short male gnome, and he's got like this weird headgear on with these big old glasses, and just kind of he looks like he's over something, doing something very delicate. He doesn't seem to have noticed you walk in.
Hello.
And when he screams, like you hear a little poof, and like he turns back and his face is a little black, and like, don't do that! Yeah, they gave me a heart attack. Welcome to Tatsuya's Potions. My name is Tatsuya. How may I help you?
I'd like for you to make me some magic arrows.
Magic arrows. Well, I can give you some potions and stuff that you can dip your arrows into, and will that work for you?
That'll work.
Okay, let's see. What was there anything that you wanted them to do?
Well, I preferably like my arrows to cure.
Most do. I wouldn't have expected to put a cure light wounds potion on it, but
Well, there's always the Cupid. His arrows make people love each other.
That's true. I've never met a Cupid though.
Me neither.
I don't know why everyone's British today. And he goes behind the counter, and you hear him tossing with some bottles and vials, and it's like, no, that won't do. And like you see him like slowly start to put potions up on the vials up on the counter.
Okay.
And he comes up, he's like, well, I have a couple of basic poisons that you can dip your arrow into and shoot them, and it will most likely kill them, depending on how your aim is. Let's see. And he goes down and starts rustling through some more vials, and comes up with a. Let's see, where is it? And he comes up with a couple of vials of amber-looking liquid. He says, "Well, I also have some oil that you could like dip in and light it on fire, and you can make a fire arrow, which is always fun. These are probably going to be your best bets for right now, because all the other potions I have are meant to buff, and I don't think you want to buff your target unless you're really sadistic, which that could be fun.
Alright, question for the DM. So, with this, how are we gonna, how do we do this? Like, can my character have a vial of poison? Can he take time to dip like so many arrows in? Will the poison stay on the arrow until I'm ready to use it, or do I need to like be in battle and?
I'll say that the poison stays on the arrow for about an hour.
Okay.
You'll have to be in battle and start dipping now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's enough time to prepare before you go
Yeah.
into an encounter.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the oil will stick it will stick longer because
Yeah.
once oil's on there, it doesn't go anywhere. But the poison, it'll eventually run off.
Okay. How much is each vial?
Well, let's see. Each poison is 100 gold pieces, and each vial of oil is a lot cheaper at 1 gold per vial.
Alright. I'll take 1 poison vial,
Okay.
and I'll take 5 oil vials.
Alrighty. He once again disappears. Like, ow, ow, sharp. Why is that moving? And he puts the other poisons away, and he's like, all right, that'll be 105 gold pieces.
Coming up as soon as D&D Beyond stops being a little bitch.
It's probably my internet that's being a little bitch.
Well, here it is.
Thank you. Anyone else need anything? I have.
Well, would you happen to have any health potions?
I do have health potions. Let's see. And he once again disappears below, and like see him coming up with multiple potions. And he comes up with, it's like, okay, I have 2 potions of healing, just standard potions of healing, and I have 2 potions of greater healing.
How much are the greater healings?
Let's see, those would be... Come on, behave. Let's see, these the potions of greater healing, they'll run you about 250 gold, but the potions of healing will run you about 50 gold apiece.
Sorry, say that one more time.
The greater healings will be 250 gold apiece, and the standard ones are 50 gold apiece.
How many standard ones do you have?
Looks like, you hear him yell up from behind the counter, looks like I have 4!
Well, I will take 1 greater healing and 2.
Alrighty, that'll be 350 gold. And he hands you, he grabs the vials and puts stoppers in all of them and hands them over to you. Anything else?
I think that'll do.
Alright then, come again if you ever need things, but don't scare me next time, please. As he starts to wipe off the soot off of his face.
Like, you should probably get a bell on the door. Probably help.
Yeah, that's a good idea. do I have a bell? And he disappears behind the counter, and you just hear him rustling around.
All right, you have a good day, sir.
You too!
All right. Well, that's all I needed. So we can go ahead and make our way back to Joanne.
Gotta love a shopping episode. Alrighty, so you guys make your way through the familiar streets of me, and the day. It's about mid to late afternoon now, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys have been out and about for a little while, and you come to the familiar small building that houses the detective agency, and you walk in, hear the familiar ding 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 of the entry bell, and Joanne comes out of her office and she's like, "Oh, good, you all have returned. Did you get everything that you need?"
I believe so. I'm ready for adventure time.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Never been to the desert before. This should be fun. So, our train leaves at 7 p.m. this evening. So we can... Actually, why don't we get to know each other a little bit more?
Yes, why don't we? Looking at you, TB.
Well, I'll go first, kind of just break the ice. I know we all met yesterday. My name is Joanne Constance. I was on assignment with the university for several years now, but I started this detective agency. When I left my my protege Richard in charge, and he's grown it into a thriving business. And now I'm back. Unfortunately, Richard is met of something afoul on our last adventure, and he's not dead, but don't know how to get to him. I think he ended up in a realm known as the Dream Realms, which we'll discuss that later, because don't know how to get there yet, but I'm sure we'll have to go there at some point. That should be fun. But I've been an investigator for most of my life. I know that this city has its battles between the Tabaxi and the Tieflings, but while I am a Tabaxi, I tend to steer clear of such things. It's so unnecessary to squabble the way that they do over land. But it is what it is. But I fancy myself a rogue for my trade. Not to say that I'm a thief, mind you, but I'm good with a blade. And she brings out her dagger and kind of throws it at a target against the wall, hits a bullseye. And then you see the dagger disappear and reappear in her hand. And she puts it back in her belt.
So you're like a glorified treasure hunter.
Yes, we'll call it that. I'm going to put that on my business card. Treasure hunter, not glorified, because I am me. What about you, our dear ranger?
Well, I can't say much right now, but I've been traveling for a while. In my hometown, there's been a buzz, if you will, of problems, and I've been traveling to see if I can take care of these problems. And that's all I can really say right now.
Fair enough. We all must keep our own secrets.
Well, we'll see as we get to know each other more. Looking at you, TB.
Alrighty, well, how about you, our cleric?
As you know, maybe 60. Nine. But yeah, my parents seem to be jokesters, as they would say.
Oh.
Bards. But kind of left my group and we were traveling around for a while, but seems it got a little bit, little not part of my moral compass, as they would say. So I had to part ways. I've just been traveling since.
Sounds good. Welcome, welcome. And how about you, our quiet turtle friend? Do you have a name?
No.
Well, we need something for your entry paperwork.
I'll write it down on the paperwork. No one knows yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Fair enough. We all keep our own secrets and reveal if we'd wish so. Well, in that case, why don't we just wait around until about, let's leave for the train station about 5. I always like to get there early.
Is there any coffee left?
It may be a little cold, but I can make some fresh.
That would be fantastic.
She gets up and she goes over. My assistant Janine isn't in today, so it's up to me to make the coffee. I told her to stay home because the last group liked to take the receptionist out on adventures with them, but apparently they've lost many, many receptionists. I'm just like, I just want a receptionist, someone who will take care of the place. I met Janine. She's wonderful. She's on the ball. She'll take care of this place while we're gone. Then she starts brewing the coffee, and after a few minutes, the smell starts to fill the room with freshly brewed coffee.
Yummy, dummy.
Oh man.
Alrighty, so as you guys sit there and most of you are making small talk, just kind of about the weather and things you've seen, and she's telling you a little bit more about the university and some of the people in it. Well, at least the people that she knows. And after a little while, it finally gets to be 5 o'clock, and it's like, well, shall we prepare for our journey? And is everyone packed up and ready to go?
I'm ready.
As ready as I'll be.
Alrighty, let's do this, as they say. And she goes and she starts writing a note. I'm writing a note to my protege, Nova, in case she comes back while we're still out, so she knows exactly where we are. And she leaves the note in Nova's office and puts a big pin on the map of where your destination is. She's like, well, to the train station then.
To the train station.
And you guys walk through the streets. It's starting to be dusk, so the street lights are starting to light up. Everyone seems to be starting to go home for the day, and you see the bars and taverns start to get more and more lively as you walk by. And you finally come to the train station. It's a really pretty building. It's not a very big building, but it's a pretty building. It's all brick, and you guys go up the ramps and into the doors, and you see this big open space with a few tracks, and you go over she leads you over to the ticketing window, and she goes up to the ticketing window and starts conversing with the human woman behind the glass. She hands over money, and they gave her tickets. She says, "Alrighty, here's your tickets. We are off to pull up the name because apparently the names are very. We are off to the capital city of Upastan, known as Vonjo. It will take us about 3 days' journey to get there, so I did get us a couple of sleeper cars. Yes. And hopefully this will be a nice, restful journey. There are multiple stops in cities along the way. We can get off at these stops and then get back on if we so choose, but the only thing is that it will just delay our arrival. That's all. So, without further ado, she leads you over to the train, and you each give your ticket to the porter. The porter's a dwarven man, very stout, big long beard, and he grabs everyone's belongings and just like all in one, and he just like, and he starts walking all of your stuff to your cabins, and he leads you. There are 2 cabins. And each one has 2 bunk beds, a little desk, and a window, and then empty floor space over here. And how are you guys bunking up?
You said there's 2 rooms?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to bunk with me?
Joanne goes up. Well, I'll share a bunk with you, good sir.
Fair enough. Sorry, brother, you're whiskey beat.
Apparently we know what her type is. Someone's getting their dick wet.
Alright, that's
But there is a bar car, which I
Hell yeah.
highly suggest we all adjourn to for
That's
at
where
least
I
part
was.
of our journey.
That's where I'm heading.
Well, the bar it is then.
Alrighty, so it's still about an hour until the train leaves, but both the bar car and the dining car are starting to fill up. Let's see, let me pull up what I have for the bar car.
That's my chance to meet like 10 bitches and bring them back to the club. Steve's gonna be trying to sleep and there'll be disco lights coming out.
Oh, let's
Music
see.
pumping and everything.
cone of silence.
He's like, yeah, cone of silence, cone of silence. Where did I put? Alrighty, so you go over to the bar cart, and it's a pretty good size. There's a bar over in the corner that has about 5 seats around it, but there's tables littered throughout. It's about half full right now, or half empty, however you see the world. And behind the bar, you see a heavy-set female halfling, and she looks, and she's dressed in like a nice like tux, like you'd see on like a fancy bar that you may go to, and she's cleaning some glasses and serving some people, and so.
To the bar. Yeah.
To the bar.
Thank you.
And you go up to the bar, and there's an empty space, and the bartender, she finishes serving. She's like, "Oh, well, welcome. What can I get for you?"
I'll have. What do they have? Ale.
We do have ale.
I'll have an ale, please.
Alrighty.
So much ghetto drawing ever.
And she goes over and pulls on a tap and sets a mug in front of you. That'll be 1 gold for the ale, sir.
Okay, here's your coin. I give her
Thank-
give her 2 coins.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're most quite welcome.
Anyone else?
I'll also do the air.
Ale. 1 gold, please.
I give her the 1 gold.
Okay. She kind of, you don't, make a perception check real quick. This is a roll for shade.
19.
You notice she kind of gives you like a look. Anyone else? And Joanne's like, I'll have a whiskey, please. And she forks over 3 gold and gets the whiskey and starts sipping on it. And Halfling looks to you. She's like a little intimidated because she's like, and for you, sir?
What's the strongest thing you got?
She turns around and... Whiskey!
Is that all?
Yeah, a standard bar. On a train.
I have an apple teeny.
Okay! She turns around and starts...
Go from strong to pretty. Oh, yeah.
She finishes it with a little umbrella and says, your apple teeny, sir? That'll be 2 gold.
Alright. Thank you.
Thank you. She is like really taken aback. Although that's exactly me when I go to a bar. You all turn around and see Joanne selected a table that has 4 chairs around it. You're free to join her if you wish, or if you...
I'm talking to Joanne. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, we'll go join her.
Okay. Ah, this is the life. A nice drink before a journey. Have any of you been to the desert before?
Not this desert.
Been to a couple deserts, but not, don't hang around.
They are harsh environments, as I've heard. I've never been to one myself. I've only really been in the mountains. I love the mountains. There are strange things in the mountains.
Strange as those creatures, or just natural things?
Strange as those creatures, depending on where you go. Up in Dravania, there's a particularly interesting mountain range called the Mountains of Madness that I've been studying for some time now. They say that there's an older race of elder things that used to live in the area, in the Elder Mountains, but no one's been able to find traces of their ruins. So that's what I've been trying to do, trying to find these entities said to come from the stars.
Now, why Mountains of Madness?
Well, I don't know why they were named that, but the things that I've found there will certainly drive someone mad.
Oh,
Some lovely creatures like the blood vampire. Those are a particularly nasty set. Nasty beasties.
have you actually ever fought one?
Oh, yes. Live to tell the tale.
Oh my.
The fun thing about those is that they're naturally invisible. Unless they get a hold of you and suck your blood, then you can see the blood swooshing about
That
inside.
doesn't sound very nice.
They are particularly nasty beasties.
Wow.
And she kind of takes a sip. Yes, the group that was here before, I was captured at one point by this cult that had been, because are you all familiar with the cults that have been popping up here and there?
I think it's a lead to what I'm after.
Because yes, we ran all of a cult of a deity known as Shub-Niggurath, and while doing research in a library one day, I passed out and I woke up in a cell, not knowing where I was until a few days later when a compadre of mine was also brought into the same cell and found out we were within the within the mines, within the mountains of madness. And so yes, that fortunately my they were actually looking for my compadre. Her name's Leah. I guess her brother had gone to the agency to find out if they could help him find her, and just so happens, as luck would have it, fortunately, they found me as well. I mean, granted, I've been keeping quite a low profile. I've been wanting people to think that I've been dead for quite some time, but for their safety, because of the things that I study. But I figured, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to adventure around as I do with people and not go it solo anymore.
I'll drink to that. I raise my mug up.
Click.
Yeah, it seems like the best route to not do things alone.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way. Shit can happen even in a library.
Wow.
She kind of swirls her drink. I forgot I actually have water. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm thirsty. You all are free to roleplay if you would like.
So, TB.
So,
Why? Why are you here?
got bored.
You got bored.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, TB, I've never really met another gentleman as yourself. Just a quick question. Water. Do you have to have more water than usual, or how does that work as a turtle?
My God, you can't just ask someone why they're not in water, Becky.
I didn't understand. Or is the shells just full of water?
It's pretty self-sustaining.
You hear a radio from inside of his shell.
Okay, right, you do. Cranking some metal music.
Do you have to bask in the sunlight often?
No.
That's cool. Well, I don't know. I'm ready for adventure. Cheers.
Cheers.
My apple tea. Oh, yeah. The fucking little umbrella and everything.
Well, that sure is fancy. I fancy them myself too, but felt a whiskey was needed to calm the nerves. Well, the evening wanes on, and you all do some light chatting and trade stories of your adventures. And you guys eventually make your way into the dining car and you have some dinner. And because fortunately, this is a catered train.
Yeah. What's up?
They got pizza.
Huh?
They got pizza.
They don't have pizza, but because they're trying to be a little bit fancy, so you see like carved meats
fancy,
and
yeah.
cheeses and
Flatbread. With like scallions and shit on it.
This is our chef's take on a pizza. And eventually, Joanne says, "Well, I believe I will adjourn for the night. It's going to be a long 3 days, cooped up on this train. So I'm going to get some rest. You all have a lovely evening." And she saunters off down the hall.
I'm gonna go after that.
I have no interest. I
Objectives. That's what I said. Yeah, see? What time is it?
It's starting to get late in the day, or late in the evening. So it's about midnight now.
I guess I'll
Perfect time to start a party.
go and scoot Boogie off the bed as well.
Okay. As you walk in, you notice Joanne's taking the top bunk, and her tail is like kind of listfully like down the side, and it's kind of doing the little cat sleeping tail thing that it does.
I walk by, tickles my nose. Achoo! Oh, excuse me.
Sorry, dear. Her tail kind of lifts up and folds over herself.
I go and cuddle in the bed.
I went to my room with my cart also. Just start meditating and praying.
Okay.
Still TV.
Let's start a rave.
It's like during your meditation, you hear like coming from inside his shell, like you see lights like blinking on and off, and you hear like this heavy techno music like emanating from the shell, and you're really fucking confused.
You just open your eyes and you see like 2 red ropes leading in like VIP status entrance way. What the fuck?
You are really confused.
I just look up and start praying like, why did this happen to me? So, yeah.
Alrighty, while the rave goes on and people are trying to sleep and meditate and all that, we're gonna take a break. So we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. So hang out with us.
Started.
Party started.
And we're
I
back.
feel like I'm about to die.
Depends on what you do on the train. Welcome back, everybody!
I'm just out here partying, that's what I'm doing.
The rave still goes on within the turtle shell of holding. And so yeah, welcome back, everybody. So last we left, everyone was fast asleep within their cabins and shells and all that. And the night goes by really without any worry or anything like that. You all feel a little uneasy because you don't really know what lies ahead. This is certainly one way to be initiated into a new group. So you wake up the next morning, and now we can do this one of two ways. We can just say that the 3 days elapse, or if there's stuff you want to do, if there's places you want to get off, or anything like that.
Good with a straight shot.
Yeah, I'm thinking just straight shot. I'm kind of focused on the mission.
Okay.
Initiation, so.
Alrighty.
It's a pretty long ass rave.
Yeah, it's a
3 days
It's a
straight.
72-hour rave that's going on. Are you sleeping through that rave at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
If you're getting your normal 8 hours a night in, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
if you're not, you're gonna have to start taking some exhaustion. Cause yeah.
I'm taking a full 8 hours.
Alrighty.
But
So
outside of those 8 hours, it's party all day.
that's fine.
16 hours of party, hell yeah.
What do you suppose a 6-day TV is doing inside that shell?
No. I always, to be honest, I thought the shell was attached. But,
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
I
so,
thought so too.
but yeah, there's a lot of music, I would say. And
Music?
And random people going in and out.
What kind of people?
Different sizes and shapes.
Mob bosses and
Not
shit.
really,
Coke
can't really
dealers,
tell.
like you name
I
it.
try to act like I don't know, but, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Long train ride.
Not that. Joanna's got a fluffy tail. It made me sneeze one night.
I should have been.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Do you remember what it is we're going after?
I think a dead body.
A dead body.
Yeah. Whatever.
Was it the doctor?
Yeah. At the university. You're supposed to have answers.
What?
Should be interesting.
Math quiz?
I've got questions too.
Alrighty, so you all finally it starts to be late, or about mid-afternoon on the third day, and you feel the train starting to slow and slow. It finally comes to a stop, and you hear. Where are you guys right now? Are you guys in your rooms, or are you in the bar, or somewhere about?
Bigger part, probably.
Yeah,
And,
I'm just kind of out and about.
Joanne comes up. Well, gents, this is our stop. We've finally arrived in Vonjo. And you look out the windows and you see a sprawling desert on all sides. But out the left-hand window, you do see a pretty large town with a river running through the middle. You are at Vonjo. You look to be outside the city gates. It looks like the train station was built just outside the city gates.
Alright. Shall we depart?
Sounds good.
Get started. And just to remind me, what are we doing here again?
We are trying to find evidence of a lost temple of Cthulhu. See if we can find out more information about this entity, because he hasn't proven to be malicious yet, but a lot of these older gods have their own agenda in mind, which hopefully if we do some digging will uncover the source of that.
That we will.
So, why don't we disembark and find ourselves an inn to kind of take camp at, or set up home base, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Lead the way.
Okay. She leads you off the train. You all get your bags from the porter, and you're. This train station is open air. It's just one train, basically a track that goes that way and a track that goes that way. It's a lot smaller than at me, which is kind of surprising since this is technically the capital of the country, but it is a desert country. So
it's basically just a platform with a little house.
No, there's not even there's a little ticket booth that kind of has a roof on it, but not much else. And you follow Joanne, and she leads you down the path, and the gates are wide open, and the guards just kind of nod at you as you go by. You go around, and I need to start having this stuff up, because I prepared the stuff, and Joanne flags down a woman, a human woman on the street, and talks to her for a minute, and she comes back up to you. Okay, well, I was asking her for an inn recommendation, and she recommended the Otter and Flagon, which is just a couple streets over. So, good a place as any.
Sounds like it has a bar. Maybe an underground
yes.
fighting arena. Just from the name of it.
I mean, it might. If you know the right circles. But as you walk down the streets, the town is pretty sparse. It is walled in. There are walls around the city, and the buildings look to be built of stone, and the roads are just sand, compacted sand. It seems a lot more primitive than back home. It seems like these people are more concerned, rightly, with water creation and water technologies as opposed to small automobiles or anything like that around here. It does look like they do have electricity out here, but it's kind of spotty. Because as you walk in the Archer and Flagon, it's a single-story stone building with a white stone roof, and as you walk in, you see a collection of weapons that hang along the walls, and you see an old female human behind the bar, just kind of slowly pouring drinks, and there are a few people around. There's about 8 people littering the bar.
Alright. Well, we're here. So, where do we go from here, Joanne?
Well, she goes over to an empty table and pulls out a map and spreads it out. And she says, well, from here, I've been told we go northeast, straight northeast from here. That's all I have to go on. We'll see if we can ask some locals or see if there's a library in town or any sort of realm of knowledge here. Maybe someone will know more.
Do you have a compass?
I do.
Good.
And she pulls out, it's a rather beautiful looking compass. And it's actually on the hilt of a dagger that you've never seen her actually throw and use.
Okay.
But she's like, I had it put on a dagger for flavor.
Very nice. Don't throw that one.
No. This one doesn't stabby.
No stabby stabby.
This one tells us where we go. And she kind of puts it back in her hilt, in her belt.
Okay.
Come on, you stupid thing. Yes, I have the map up and I want to go.
Okay. So, do we ask around?
We can let's start with the barkeep. She'll probably be the best to tell us where to go next.
And while I am the senior detective, I do believe I should leave this. I'm here for support, but I want to see how you all do with clue finding and all that. This is part of your initiation, after all.
Alright. Start with the barkeep. Why don't you go first?
Just walk up to her and I'm like, how you doing, ma'am?
Oh, I'm fine. What can I do for you, young man?
We're here new in town. We're looking for kind of do you have like a library or a temple anywhere nearby?
We do have a small library, but and we do have a temple of Palor here in town. He's pretty much the one that most people here worship. And you'll find the Temple of Palor. It's at the very edge of town. If you go out and you take a right and you just follow the street all the way down, you'll find it. And then the library happens to be on the opposite side of town from the temple, because it's convenient for some reason.
Of course. Yeah, we're new here. So, would you like? Is there anything about this town you'd like to tell us?
Well, we're kind of a quiet town. We're don't get many visitors around here because it's the desert. Not many people want to come to the desert. But most of us have lived here for most of our lives, and we find it comfortable. We since we have the river here, we don't really worry about water too much. However, as of late, there have been some shady characters that I've heard tell been hanging around. Don't really know the nature of them, but I usually try to keep to myself. I figure that's best for my business.
Does the name Cthulhu ring a bell?
Not really. Don't think I've ever heard of a Cthulhu.
You might not have heard these suspicious characters of mentioning the name?
Not that I recollect.
These suspicious characters, where are they migrating towards? Where are they going as they're passing through?
Oh, well, I'm not quite sure because like I said, I just kind of keep to myself. I've seen a couple of shifty people come in and out of here, but I don't think any of them have really stayed the night with me. The people at the temple might know, or Maybe the local police force might know. I don't know if any of them have gotten in any trouble so far, but
Well, we thank you for your time.
oh yes. Are y'all wanting to stay here?
We may. We're gonna explore the town
Okay.
a little bit. We may be back.
Sounds good. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for everything.
60. A couple him over. Where do you want to start next? The temple or library?
I think the best bet would be the temple. That's kind of where I kind of lean
I'm
towards
getting
most
that
of the time.
vibe as well.
Yeah, I was just wondering about those shady characters. But yeah, let's head to the temple and we'll see.
Let's go there next. TB,
You.
come hither. Joanne,
Yes.
to the temple.
To the temple, darlings. Let's see. So,
As we walk, I just kind of keep an eye out for anybody that quote unquote looks shady.
Okay.
Yeah, judging by the descriptions she gave us, I'm kind of looking the same.
go ahead and give me some perception checks.
Yeah, there's my first roll of the night.
Off the table.
Try that again. That was better on the floor.
22.
Jesus.
Good. Glad you got it. Oh, Jesus.
So what do you do for a perception check?
Roll a d20 and add your perception.
If you look over at skills, there'll be a bunch of skills. If you go down, it should be like wisdom, and it should say perception. That's where you kind of find all of those kind of whenever he says.
So it would be like plus whatever.
Yeah, so yeah, you roll and then it'll be like I got 15 and mine's is plus 7. So
7.
Yeah.
12.
12. Okay. So, while on your way to the temple, you do spot someone who's walking around with they're in a black robe, like a black cloak with their hood up. They look like they're kind of watching their back. It seems a little like they're trying not to be noticed. But you're the only one who notices that.
where would I find? Where were they hanging out?
They were outside of a small market.
I don't see this character, right?
No.
Well,
He's the
I
only one
kinda-
who sees.
Well, since you're the only one next to me, I'll point it out to you. Like, I was like, it seems to be those guys kind of fit the description. They do look very suspicious. It's very obvious. At least to me.
To those two, oblivious.
Yeah.
You're like, no, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy right there.
Black hood in the desert. Who are you? But yeah. I'm not sure, but they're just, hanging out at that market. I think we still head to the temple, just to, see what they're doing, and then maybe we'll come check up on them later.
I hate to lose them. Okay. Let's continue.
He's starting to make his way down an alleyway.
Wow.
The shady?
We should trail.
Straight up right now. Yeah, let's.
Get him.
Do you think we go together?
No. I got plus 6 to stealth.
Plus 7.
You should probably go.
No, yeah.
Low?
Probably nothing.
say.
Yeah, mine's a +3 of stealth, so.
Yeah, anybody would see.
Or we all just keep our distance and keep an eye on him before he gets away.
All right. Yeah, I'll follow him, and you guys just follow slightly behind him.
I keep my eyes on him.
I can send messages, so I will send a message.
Are you trying to be stealthy about it?
I will be extremely
One moment,
Take
please.
to the rooftops.
stealthy, but also
Ninja Turtle
casual.
style.
Right?
Stealthy yet
That's what
casual.
I'm saying, dude.
Like, whoa, what's down this random alley that this guy just went down?
It's like, I'm totally not following you.
Yeah, like more of like, I'm just wandering, but I'm trying to be stealthy and not be seen by him.
Oh shit! What up, guy with the black hood?
Oh, what's going on back here? I didn't know any of this was happening.
Where the dwarves at?
Yeah, this isn't where I parked my car.
I don't speak no language. Let's see. Where is he?
Just looking for some meth.
Yeah, just casually. One Stop Kill Chup does not support the use of meth. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find where this guy is.
Are you like following the guy or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm trailing guys.
He's trailing him, and we're kind of keeping an eye on him.
From the rooftops.
So go ahead and roll stealth checks if you're trying to be stealthy.
All of us or just me?
Really, just him.
All of you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all
That's
following
a-
Marla.
Dude,
hell yeah.
you couldn't have gotten any better than that shit.
25.
Jesus Christ.
5? Oh man,
Yeah.
you should have went 11.
Yeah, I'm just tripping over shit. I got 7. I go to enter the alleyway and I trip over a tin trash can and bust my ass everywhere.
So as you're walking along, your footfalls are a little heavier than you think they are. So they're kind of scraping against the sand as you walk through, and you notice his pace starts to quicken.
I'm going to continue at the pace I was going at, trying not to lose him.
And he
Does that make sense?
ducks down and takes a right. Well, he takes a right.
Okay. And I will keep going until I get to that right.
Okay. You see, like, the flash of his cape, like he turned another corner, but you see his cape. It looks like he made a left a couple of alleys ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly send a message, which is just message.
Yeah.
It's about the cantrip. To Woodsbury, and I just say, keep following. He's running now. Not sure why, but I think he heard me, of course.
Not stealthy enough. Okay.
Yeah, not my best. And then I just kind of I follow to the at least to the left he made.
Okay. And as you take the left, you don't see him anymore. Now, this alley is about 10 feet across, and you do notice that there are multiple buildings in this alleyway, so there are doorways. All the doors are closed.
Okay. I just kind of like doing the same pace, but try to be kind of alert to see if I see anything that looks like maybe he went that way.
How hard are you looking at?
I mean, since I don't see him, then I'll be looking. It's not like extremely hard, but it's like I'm looking for things that would tell me where he went while walking.
Go ahead and make me a investigation check.
Zero. 11.
It seems like this particular alleyway gets quite a bit of foot traffic. So there's multiple footprints in the sand, and you can't really quite make out which ones might be the ones that you're looking for. About this time, you guys start to catch up to him.
There's
Yes, but I think he may be still around.
okay.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I could have like located the object, but I don't have that today. I had it yesterday during the fight.
Oh, you know what? I've got an idea. I am going to cast on us Pass Without Trace.
That's a good spell. That's a very good spell.
So I go, Pass Without Trace.
Okay,
We
so
are now, let's see, a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection for the duration.
you add 10 to all your stealth rolls for the next hour.
Should have done
Or-
earlier.
Is that an hour or 10 minutes?
Hour.
Hour.
Yeah, we should have done that before we left. Good. Yeah. So, what do you think we do now? Just retreat, or do you think we should like look around?
Let's look around a bit. Now it's going to be harder for him to see us. He may come out of hiding. So we like to just investigate.
Alrighty. You've already investigated, but you guys can roll an investigation check.
Alright. TB, investigate.
If we, let me see if I have it though before I do it. Do I have it?
16 for me.
16?
I can't read
It's a 16 plus your investigation.
0.
Okay.
16.
16 for the both of us.
So here, let me kind of draw the alleyway so you guys kind of know what you're dealing with.
Alright.
So you guys have just come from this way, and this is the alleyway that he disappeared down to. So door here, door here, door here, door here, door here, and door here.
These doors, are they leading to like
businesses or they?
You're not really sure what the nature of these of the buildings that these.
Any signs on them or anything?
Not from the back where you are.
any little windows to peek through?
This one has a window. It looks like you peep into the window and you see a kitchen.
Alright.
But with your investigation check, you notice multiple footprints going towards this door right here.
Yes. Do you sense it too, DB?
If you rolled a 15 or higher, you sense it.
You sensed it, didn't you?
Well, apparently I do.
Right here then. So I point to that door.
You think you went in there?
I have an intuition. Shall we try to sneak in?
Yes.
Alright, is it a doorknob?
Yes.
I would like, is the doorknob?
The door is locked.
Of course it is.
We have a room.
We do.
I was waiting all day for you to say that. She goes up. She's like, and she kind of pulls out a lockpick from her fur.
I was getting ready to warhammer that button.
No.
Stealth is best, darling. Stealth is best.
I got my hammer fucking blast through it.
No, don't TV. Calm down. There will be a time for that.
She goes and she starts to work with the lockpick.
And she snaps the lockpick, so it's up to me to blast through the damn door.
See, she rolled a 24,
Okay.
and
Pretty good.
like it takes her a minute, but you finally hear a of the tumblers falling, and she's like, "Well, I think that did it. Now."
Yes, very quiet.
She kind of, actually, she says, "Oh, where is it? She has everyone step back, and you notice her do a little incantation, and you see a small ethereal hand floating that goes over to the door and turns the knob, and the door swings open. And as the door swings open, a bolt just comes flying out and hits the wall next to on the opposite side of the street.
Oh. My. This is it. We ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Alright, yeah, I just kind of pull back the door and kind of peek in.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Another one just shaves the hair off the top of your head. Oh shit.
It's not good, but it is a 13.
So, as you enter the room, you don't really see where the bolt originated from. It's a small room. It looks like kind of a storage room. There's barrels and crates all littering the room, and you don't really. All in all, it just looks like a storage room.
Can we re-stealth and stealth through the room?
You will need to roll another stealth check. Yes.
Alright.
So everyone, give me a stealth check.
Alright.
Shit.
Remember, add 10 to whatever you get.
Oh yeah.
25.
It's not going to stealth
29.
it. 21.
31 for Joanne.
Nice.
So, Joanne and you just kind of disappear. Like, everyone is very, very quiet, but, like, you guys are, like, you fucking disappear. So, you feel like you're very well stealthed within this room, and you're in a storage room.
Alright, any boxes we can peep open?
There are certainly boxes around that you can try to open.
Searching the room, is there...
Make an investigation check if you are searching the room.
Natural 20.
Okay, never mind. So you are being really fucking detailed in searching this room. You're carefully, quietly pushing back boxes and searching the walls, and you find what looks to be a piece of stone that sticks out a little bit farther than the other stones. Looks like it may be a button of some sort. Mr. Natural 20.
That's what I was afraid we would find.
I just push it.
So as you push it,
The room explodes and we all die.
I need, let's see.
So damn stealth. The traps have to look for us.
I need for you and Joanne to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
What's the 9? 6, 9, 6. 10.
10, you just saved. So
Damn.
you feel the ground beneath you start to give way as you and Joanne jump out of the way as the floor, this 10-foot section of floor just kind of just swings open under you. Fortunately, you do not fall into a hole. But there's now a hole open in the middle of the floor.
Good job.
Wow.
And you can kind of see down into the hole. It looks like there's it's not very deep. It's only about a 10-foot drop, but then it looks like there's some stairs that descend down.
Shall we?
We've made it this far.
Yes. What do you think, Joanne?
I'm ready for some fun. Are
Let's
you?
do this then.
Alrighty. Why don't I go first, since I'm the quiet one of the group? Well, you're also the quiet one, but
We're both quiet.
Good so far.
so Joanne jumps down, and she lands on all 4 of her feet, stands up, kind of brushes off, and says, "Coast is clear. Come on down."
I jump down.
Okay, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
I'll also jump down.
Okay, dexterity saving throw.
15.
Okay, you land right on your feet.
17.
You land right on your feet.
GB, come on down.
Trying to find that section real quick.
Should be.
It'll be in
Abilities.
I guess I'll just drop down to 17.
Okay, yeah, you land on your feet. And also, give me... You guys did something that potentially made noise, so go ahead and give me another stealth check to see how stealthily you did this. Oh yeah, she's good.
Just rolling orb. Anyway, 22. We still got plus 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 32.
Joanne got a 38.
Jeez.
What'd you get?
Trying to figure. I think that's a 6. So
That's a 6, yeah.
19.
19, okay. So you guys drop and you kind of go on balls of your feet and then down. So it's a nice silent, like, and none of you think to hold all the things that may clank on you before you drop, and you guys are really quiet.
Well, I'm just a shell, so I mean, I don't have anything that goes clank.
Okay, so you guys drop down and you start descending the stairs. What order are you marching in?
My stealth roll.
Either the rogue or you would have to go first.
I'll go first then.
I mean, I don't mind going first.
Well, why don't you take the lead there?
Okay.
Ladies first.
Alrighty.
You'll have the most experience in this.
She goes, alright.
Check for traps.
Yes.
Well, there would be traps if we found the secret entrance, right? Yeah, just to be safe.
She gives you a look, like, is this your first day?
Yes. Yeah, I'll take middle. Or center, middle back.
So it's Joanne, you, and then the brute force bringing up the rear.
I guess so.
Alrighty, so she is going to look for traps on the way. Oh yeah. So as she's slowly going along, she's about 10 feet ahead of you guys, and she's looking at the floor and looking at the walls and looking at the ceiling. She all of a sudden says, "Psst, stop. There's something up here that basically we have to walk on this tile, but it looks like it will depress and do something horrible to us. Let me see if I can disable this." And she gets down on all fours and starts and pulls her tinkering tools out of her hair, and she does her little incantation, and you see the tools are grabbed by the ethereal mage hand, and they go down and they start to fiddle with the trap, and you all of a sudden hear, "Okay, I think we're good." And she goes forward slowly and, "Okay, yeah, we're good. And you guys keep going along. You get to the bottom of the stairs and you go down a hallway, and you come to a T-junction.
Alright. Can I look down both ways?
One seems to dead end at a door, and the other one you see a door at the very far end of the hall with a torch lit outside of it.
Thoughts, Joanne?
Well, oh, by the way, who has dark vision?
I do. Dark vision, anything will be in 6 checks if you have it, should be in abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't know what abilities, if you have it, it'll tell you down here.
Portraits.
You know, in like senses or whatever.
Underneath your passive stuff.
Yeah. If you don't have it, it won't say it.
Nope.
Okay.
Since you're not able to see, like,
No.
you can't really see all that well down here, but you put your hand on your the compatriot in front of you, so he's like you're seeing eye elf. Well, the torch probably means there's a gathering of some sort.
I agree.
So,
Let's go that way.
yes.
To the torch door.
Alrighty. So you go forward, and it's actually it's about a 10-foot wide hallway, and you go down probably about 40 feet to the door, and it has a torch lit out front of it. It's just your standard wooden door.
Any window thingies on it or anything?
Nope.
Can I put my ear up against the door to listen to see if I hear anything?
Make an investigation check.
Just as he does that, I just touch him and give him guidance.
Okay.
Just because you have an extra D4 if you need it.
Jeez.
Okay, yeah, you need it.
Extra D4. That's 4, so that's...
Ouch, that was a double fuck you.
yeah, fuck you. 6.
You can hear very low voices, but you can't make out what they're saying.
Okay. I can hear something in there. Don't know what they're saying.
What do you think the best approach is? Do we just sneak in? Or do you think we go the opposite way, maybe find a way around? Or we just head first, capture, and see what we can do?
Thoughts, Joanne?
Well, I think one way or another we do need inside there if we want answers. But, I mean, they could be something innocent, but no one builds all this to hide something innocent.
He did run from me,
That he did.
and I was not a threat.
He might have perceived you as a threat. He did seem very cautious of where he was going.
TB.
So,
I have an idea. The three of us hide, knock on the door. TB hides in his shell in front of the door. We confuse whoever answers the door. And then one of us grabs him.
oh, that's some fucking shit, man. I'm down with it.
I'm here for it. I love it.
It's like hardcore ding dong shit. We're about to kidnap a motherfucker. oh shit. Alright, fuck it.
Great plan. But there's more than one guy in there. And
Perhaps.
we don't know. No, at least he's talking to somebody else. He's talking to himself.
Perhaps.
So there is a door there.
How about first we go maybe to the other door? Just see where that leads. And then if anything fails, we ding dong ditch him.
Fair enough. I guess we should explore our options.
Okay.
So yeah, make our way to the other door on the opposite side.
Okay, you make your way to the other door, and there's no torch out in front of it. Do you put your ear up to this one as well?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
I'll do it this time, I guess. I'll try again. That's better. Plus, let's see. 15.
Okay, you don't hear anything?
I'm silent.
And is the door locked?
You go up, and the knob seems to turn.
Alright, then we I'll just stealth in.
Okay. I'm gonna need a new stealth check from everybody.
Alright.
27.
26.
Okay. Pass without a trace is so broken.
We only get to use it a couple times.
Remember using it in one game and we
21.
basically one-shotted a boss.
Jeez.
Like that hag in a...
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we one-shotted it.
I got 21.
Okay. So you guys, the room's pretty dark. Those of you with dark vision can see it looks like it's sleeping quarters. There's about 8 beds in the room, lined up against each wall. Very minimalistic. Almost reminiscent of like priest quarters or something like that.
Any dresser drawers or anything I can search through?
There is a chest at the end of the room. If you open it up, you find robes. Like there's some robes in there.
We could, but I doubt he'll fit into a room. We still think on edge. Or should we just sneak in with robes on?
I was thinking the same thing. We knock on the door. We're dressed in robes. We found this gigantic turtle shell, and we'd like to offer it as a sacrifice, if that's what they're into. Or just show them our grand prize.
Yeah, we'd be like, I think I found what was trailing you. Or something like that.
There we go.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joanne?
Wow, that seems like a fun plan.
Interesting.
Let's see if these fit. We'll pull out a couple of these robes.
Okay, so there's they seem to fit you pretty well. Yours, how tall are you guys?
I sound about 6'4".
Okay.
Yeah, I was like 6'3".
So yours only come down to about the middle of your shin, both of you.
Waiting for a flood.
And Joanne's, it goes all the way down to her feet, and she kind of tusses with her hair before putting the hood up.
60, just bend your knees a little bit.
We're all on tracks.
There we go. Okay.
Well, I mean, shit. That's your stance.
Alright, so no other places to really look for? Anything to look into?
Make an investigation check.
I'll tell you no. 6.
No.
Alright.
It's a pretty bare room,
Okay.
except for that one, apparently, where they keep their clean robes.
Alright. Shall we try this now?
Let's do what we came to try.
Man, I can make it.
Alright, walk back over.
Okay.
In front of the door.
That can be a
Alrighty.
distraction.
DB. It's turtle shell time.
Okay. So I go into my shell.
Okay.
Alright. You ready?
This is where it gets
Knock on
interesting.
the door.
Yeah.
Ready, Joanne?
Cool.
As ready as I'm going to be.
Open it.
We could do that, I suppose.
Like we own the place. We've been here before.
Let's do it.
Just kick the fucking door in.
You wanna do it? Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I open the door. Not aggressively, just open it.
Are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you just
no,
like...
just like, fuck it. They're going for it.
Kind of at first, like, if I...
Yes, give a slight knock and open at the same time.
Yeah, I'll do a little...
Okay, and the door isn't locked, so it starts opening. And like as you swing it open, you see the room is lit. Let me show you the room. let me show our wonderful viewers at home our lovely battle map. Let's see, so zoom in a little bit. Okay, so
Just go into the fucking temple. No, we gotta fight shit. Well, you guys gotta fight shit. I'm in my shell. I have no idea what the hell's going on. I'm about to start another rave. Distraction.
you certainly can.
Hell yeah!
Two or three. Oh.
I miscounted.
Oh, yeah, you did miscount it.
Where's
Should be
your
less.
guy at?
That's cute.
Isn't that your guy?
No.
Oh.
I guess it is two.
And this is whatever her face
Or it
is.
could be, just so we don't get distracted on that. Never mind.
Okay, so the door you guys have opened, this looks like a caved in, but just pretend like this wall is clean, or
Okay.
is an actual wall.
Yeah.
You guys are entering the door right here. And you see this, what looks to be a human man, bald, very long beard, very skinny, up. Looks like he's preaching in a language that you don't really know unless you have cult knowledge. If you have cult knowledge, you can make a Yog Sothothery roll.
I just have abyssal.
I guess that would be me. What, is there any plus to that? Or is it when I rolled a 15?
You add your proficiency plus wisdom modifier.
Plus wisdom? Oh man. That's a plus 8. So 23.
Okay. You can't make out every word that he's saying, but you do hear mentions of Cthulhu. Very briefly, because they all notice you as you open the door.
So we're sitting right
Yeah. And they all turn around
here. We should have taken it quietly.
and glare at you. Let's see. Hang on just one second.
And this is me and my shell.
Trying to give our viewers a better view of you too. And you hear the very boisterous human behind the pulpit. Who enters this temple?
Pardon our intrusion. We found this rather large shell and thought we would bring it to your attention.
Number one, who are you? Number two, why should we care about a shell?
Sorry. We are so because I'm not.
Six, sir. And this shell was just sitting outside of the entrance.
Is there anything within the shell?
Not that we know of.
He kind of looks at you. I haven't... He starts walking up to you guys.
Yeah, that's just it.
Right through the middle of his followers.
I whispered, Joanne, what do you want to do?
This was your plan.
Fuck.
Or I guess I should have.
And that's the shell.
And he looks over the both of you.
So fucked.
And like you can see him a little better now. His skin is really tanned, and he smells. It smells like he hadn't had a bath in a while. I mean, desert people. But he looks over you guys. Why have I never seen your likes around here before?
We've been here. We're rather new.
Make a deception check for me, please.
You better roll good, motherfucker.
Fuck!
Oh shit.
This is fun.
This guy's fun.
Indeed.
I look and I say, Joanne, grab him.
Make a persuasion check. Because you gotta persuade this bitch to... She ain't exactly on board.
20, not natural.
Okay.
He's like, fuck. I'm still just chilling in my
So-
shell, dude. I'm about to get the party
One
started.
moment, please.
He just starts to hear fucking a radio thumping from inside the shell with lights and shit going everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, this just went too crazy.
So, how quickly can a plan go on its ass? So she like looks at you as like, all right, and she reaches out and goes to grapple at him, which this is going to be a grapple check.
Well, here's her person. This fucking scrawny ass one.
She rolled really fucking good.
All right.
Let's see. So she reaches out and she grabs him, spins him around, and pulls him out of the door. What now, darlings?
TV, out of your shell.
And then I...
So at this point, since you have made a aggressive action, I need everyone to roll for initiative.
All right.
Even though I haven't done anything yet.
Even though you haven't done anything, an aggressive action has been made.
I thought they were gonna weave my ass in there so I could start a rave and have everyone else like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? You know, invite my homies in for like a snack or something.
This is going to get confusing for me real quick. So basically, I'm dividing them into threes. One group, two group, and him.
23.
What am I doing?
I don't like this at all.
Let's see.
What am I supposed to be rolling?
Initiative.
What is that under? I know it's under the regular thing, but... where do
I think it should
see-
just be at the top of your screen, I think.
Oh, okay. Initiative +3.
Okay, 25 to 20.
That was trash.
23.
3. Remind me your character's name. 60. Uh, 15 to 20. Okay. Oh, wait, I didn't roll for Joanne. Oh, shit. Okay, so 10 to 15.
11.
Remind me your character's name?
Woodsbury.
Woodsbury. What'd you get, TB?
9.
9.
I was expecting to just throw a fucking rave and confuse everybody else, but no.
I mean, y'all did what you did.
I didn't do shit.
We did what we did.
Okay. So, Joanne goes first. She rolled a 24. So she takes her movement to drag his ass. She only has half movement dragging his ass.
To the outside and to the right, then.
Yeah. Are we going that way if you're trying to escape? Alrighty. 60.
And I will follow suit, touch him, and cast banishment.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's see. Charisma saving throw?
15. He's gonna make it, isn't he?
Yep, he always does.
I mean, charisma's one of this guy's better things, so...
Well, he's the leader.
Yeah, you made it.
22.
Told you.
So you go to cast your spell, it just doesn't take within his mind, and he stays on this plane.
I thought that would happen, but you know, I was trying.
I mean, it's not a bad it's not a bad try.
Should have done some other things first. Does he have like disadvantage by any chance for being grappled, or is it? I don't know about that run.
Grapple,
Or is
grapple.
that restrained? I don't know.
Let's see. Technically, he is restrained. It's only on attack rolls
Okay.
and dexterity saving throws.
Okay, then do one more thing, and then we just attack or okay, I won't do anything. I will. Okay, I hold the bonus action. That is the end of my turn.
Alrighty. The cult leader is going to try to break the grapple. Let's see. Purple is him. That's Joanne. He does not break the grapple. And that does it for... was not expecting to. Okay, that does it for him. It's now Group 1's turn. So, I'm going to try to keep track of everything. I'm going to say that is the door right there. At least it's a doorway, so it's going to take them a minute to all get out. But, it's going to attack whoever's in that doorway.
Okay, that's me.
You see as he steps up, he pulls a battle axe from beneath his robes. Actually, first I need a wisdom saving throw from you, Woodbury.
Oh, fuck.
You are frightened of this guy for a minute.
I'm scared.
So to remind you, frightened means you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. While the source of your fear is within line of sight, and you cannot willingly move closer to the creature. And then he is going to try to swing away.
I don't like this guy. He's scary.
22 to hit.
Yes.
13 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so you take 11 points of slashing damage as the first one slashes down on you, but you move back out of the way of the second axe hit. Let's see. And I think that does it for his turn. And none of the others are able to get to you for an attack. Okay. So that does it.
I don't even exist to these motherfuckers yet.
Yeah, they have
So
no
I'm
idea.
literally just a shell. I can
Yeah.
just sit here and hang out, throw a fucking rave.
They might notice the rave music.
Well, yeah.
Okay, Woodbury. It is your
Alright.
turn.
I'm going to start with my bonus action of using Zephyr Strike. Bling! Which lets me move like the wind. Until the spell ends, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Ah.
And I also have an extra 30 feet.
Oh, alrighty.
It's enough to get you off the
So
screen.
I am hauling the fuck out of there. 60 feet. Boom! I am gone. So move me away.
So
Opposite direction.
So as you go running by, Joanne's like, what?
And I say, go, get down to here.
For all intents and purposes, you are that way. Alrighty. TB.
So,
They have no... It doesn't seem like they've noticed you yet.
Good.
They've noticed your shell, not you yet.
That's fine. I'm just chillaxing.
Not going to do anything?
Nope. Just chillaxing.
Alrighty. This is now group 2. We're going to do very similar. Run over to the door.
Wait up for my old ass.
And you can just hear them screaming as they're running towards the door, towards their captured commander.
Yeah, I spiked out big.
All right. It's now Joanne's turn. She sees him run the fuck by.
Run for your lives.
I'm like, and let's see. I have to decide if she's gonna drop this guy, or just just try to
Throw
continue.
his ass to the ground and screw. The hell with this shit.
Nope, she is. She drops the grapple and starts hauling ass. Let's see.
It's at least enough to get where he's at.
And she has an ability that she's able to double her speed for the turn. She can move 80 feet now.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
She was technically.
So she goes this way.
behind him.
Okay, so now it's 60's turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Haul ass.
60, hurry! Yeah, just that way. 30. I'm gonna make my movement and then dash also.
Okay. So
Yeah, I believe 30 is my movement.
he is going to get an opportunity of attack against you, which I'm sure you're okay with.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, you can't use your action to disengage and then move your 30.
Can I use my bonus action but still use my action to dash and move? Can I bonus action first?
Yes, you can bonus action first.
Well, I'm gonna bonus action first, and I'm gonna use Sanctuary on myself.
Okay. Not a bad idea.
Now run and dash.
Now you're going to run and dash. Okay. Okay, so he is going to try to...
Wait, God, he's gonna hit me. Hopefully. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so...
Wait, sorry. No, wait, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just left.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Wisdom?
15.
He rolled a natural 18.
Ooh, then he does hit me.
Let's see, so... So then he makes a wisdom saving throw, and then he gets to attack.
Yeah.
Okay. 22 to hit. Okay. I mean, he doesn't hit very hard, so don't be...
I think we could have taken him.
You take 5 points of piercing damage as he reaches out and tries to and stabs you in the leg with the dagger.
Damn. Adrenaline.
And so this is now a chase with the turtle just kind of chilling out in the hallway.
Fucking right.
So the cult leader starts pursuing you guys. He's about 10 feet behind you guys. Then let's see. Yeah, group 1. So you look behind you and you see this line of them just starting to rush out of the room. Ah! And it's Woodbury's turn.
I am still hauling ass, and I've still got my 60 feet of movement.
Alrighty.
I'm going to just go back, basically backtrack the path we came.
Okay. So you about reach the stairs. And TB. Just gonna chill? Alright.
I mean, shit, I'm a fucking rock to these guys at this point. They don't give a
So far, they've, like, completely ignored the shell in the middle of the room. And
masters.
I'm actually just going to stop moving people now. And it is Group 2's turn, and they're starting to chase after, but they're behind the first group. So, top of the round, Joanne.
Hauling ass.
She makes it about halfway up the stairs. And 60.
Doing the exact same thing.
Just hauling ass.
Hauling ass, bonus action, sanctuary.
All right, you're a little bit behind Woodbury. Woodbury, you're actually like just on the. You're just starting to go up the steps. You're about to go on the steps. Then let's see, where were we? Cult leader, he's still about 10 feet behind you guys. Group 1 is about just keeping up. Woodbury.
All right.
Oh, man.
Still hauling 60 feet.
Alrighty, you go past Joanne, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
No.
I'm scared. I told her to grab him.
You convinced her to grab him.
Grab him.
TB.
Still just a fucking rock to these people.
Alrighty, like they have all now gone past you. Like they've all now gone around the corner, and you're by yourself.
Okay, cool.
Group 2 is following behind. Joanne, she's hauling ass. She gets to the top of the stairs, and let's see. Let's see. She's trying to decide if there's anything that she can do.
I'm literally just gonna be able to walk out of this bitch because of you guys. I'm gonna step out into the streets and see a bunch of people running after each other. Just be like, whatever, go the opposite direction.
Alrighty, that's the end of her turn. 60.
Run, dash. But I'm gonna cast.
So is Joanne outside yet?
She's to the top of the stairs to the landing.
Should I get them? Nah, we haven't attacked them yet, so yeah, I'm
Keep
just
running.
gonna keep running in sanctuary.
Alrighty. Cult leader's right behind you. You've made it to the top of the stairs. Cult leader's almost to the top of the stairs. Wait, no. Cult leader,
Yeah, they're both in front of me, and then me.
yeah. Okay. So, Woodbury.
Alright. Am I at a point now where I can get back outside?
Yes, but there is the 10-foot thing that you... You do see a ladder on the side of the wall. Like a movable ladder.
Alright. Desperate times, calls for desperate measures. I don't know if my 60 feet of movement will help me get up that bitch quicker, but I would like to get up it.
It will take your action to move the ladder to the opening.
Okay.
So let's see. It would have taken you about 20 feet to get to the landing. Then if you use your action, you still have... I'm not sure how many more feet you would have.
Because I have still 60.
Then yes, you can get up the ladder
Okay.
with moving.
Perfect. So that's what I do.
Alrighty. Alrighty. TB. You just still chilling in your shell, or?
I'm just gonna start making my way out at this point.
Okay. So you slowly start.
Walking back.
What the fuck?
All right. Group 2 is keeping up. They are almost like all up on you on the stairs. So Joanne looks around and she sees you move and she scrambles up the ladder. And she says, "We should close that trap door." And it's now 60's turn.
I just scream back. I don't know if we care, but TV's still in there.
Shit.
I'm following.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So the three of them are upstairs.
Do you shut the door or do you keep it open?
I think we have to chase them out into public.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
And then do I have, no, I used all my action, right? To run and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Or unless, no. Can I do a cantrip as a bonus action?
Depends on the cantrip.
Message.
What's the casting time on it?
I think it's one action. So yeah, probably not.
Locking your ass in here.
Plus, you're way too. If you're thinking about messaging him, you're way too far away. I think it's only like a 30 foot.
No, it's 120.
Oh, yeah, you're still too far away.
Yeah, that's like we went a lot. Yeah, too far away. Never mind.
Like, you did notice that while you were there, he did not leave his shell.
Yeah.
You know that, and it looked like they were not harassing the shell.
I did what I could.
Okay.
That's just getting out of here.
Alrighty. The cult leader, he gets to the top of the stairs and starts ascending up the ladder, and he gets about halfway up the ladder. And his cronies are right on his heels. Woodbury.
I'm hauling ass out the door.
Okay.
Out to the open, however far I can get out from here.
Okay.
I'll start making my way just basically to population.
So where should I draw him on here?
I wouldn't bother. It's gonna get convoluted real quick.
Well, I'm only putting our people. I don't care about them.
At the same time, I'm getting rid of the road.
You're at least,
Okay.
You're at
When I
least
get
outside.
when I get outside, I rip the road off.
Okay. TB.
Still making my way back, I guess.
Okay.
Not sure where I'm at in the dungeon, but I'll get there eventually.
Okay. Okay. And Joanne sprints out the door, rips her robe off, and starts following you. 60.
Same exact thing.
Alrighty.
I'm not gonna do sanctuary this time, but I'm doing that.
Alright, so they're outside.
Okay, the cult leader comes up and he breaches the door, and he sees exactly to the right. He yells backwards as the group continues pursuit. And alrighty, Woodbury.
Just making my way to wherever. Just backtracking, basically. I'm gonna get back to the market or whatever.
Okay, you're about halfway back to the market now.
Okay.
TB, still making your way?
Yep.
Okay. You're about halfway up the steps now.
Okay, cool.
Group 2, like, all of the cultists are now up and, like, chasing you down the street.
Okay.
And Joanne continues to run.
Continue to run. I don't know what we're gonna do when we get there, but we're just gonna run, right?
Run into the population, dearies. And, okay. You know what? Since this is basically what we're doing, we're just going to say, okay, you guys are chased into the market.
Yep.
You finally do make it out. You see the ladder, but you don't see where everyone went. But you come out in the day, and you look left, you look right, and you're alone right now.
Can I just start walking in a different direction
Yeah.
than where the footprints trail? Because obviously there's gotta be footprints.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that street's pretty fucking torn up with all that foot action. So, instead of going back and making a right to go back the way you want, I go left.
Okay. Alrighty. So you're just wandering a bit.
Mm-hmm. Making it look like, fuck it, I didn't see nothing, so.
Okay, once you guys breach into where the market is, you turn back and you notice the cultists have stopped chasing you. You've noticed they've disappeared, like, completely. That's weird. You would have expected at least to see them turning their backs and, like, going away, but they have completely disappeared.
Doing stealth on your ass.
Did, by chance, did we see, like, any kind of, like, a spell, kind of like a glow or anything? We just...
Not as you were running away.
They just aren't there anymore.
Well, whose idea was that?
Well, that was a little exciting.
Grab him?
Grab him!
You listen to me.
I thought maybe he has an idea other than I'm going to just run away now since shit has officially hit the fan.
Well, we do know one thing. They are clearly up to something.
Thank you, Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly. We didn't figure out anything. Just that there's 17 of them.
Well, there's vaults down, stairs down beneath that. They are up to no good.
There was.
Well, and I'm not even sure if that's the temple that my colleague was talking about. He told me that this was way off in the desert. This must just be some offshoot cult in the area.
Well then, shall we continue to the temple? Oh, we gotta get TB.
Are you planning on making your way back to the market, or?
Yeah, I somehow just found my way back to the market.
Okay, it takes you a little while.
Yeah, just going through random side streets, checking shit out.
Yeah, and you don't cross paths with any of the cultists coming back. And you wander out onto the street, and you guys see your not so small turtle friend come out, just nonchalantly walking onto the street, not out of breath,
What up,
just like.
motherfuckers?
Well, now we're all present and accounted for. Thankfully, they thought you were a rock. Oh, well. Let's not do that again, shall we?
Stealth all the way.
And on that note, that's where we will leave tonight.
Alright.
That was awesome.
We're all on Market Street.
Like, when you said, we're just gonna do this, I'm like, they don't really know how many people are in there, do they?
I was thinking like 3 or 2.
Nope.
36 motherfuckers. And I'm just like walking down the street.
Yeah, you're just like,
just
yeah.
relaxing.
Chillax.
Yo, what up?